we're certainly pleased to be moving on to play for the Lamarillo Cup tomorrow night. I thought, we got off to a pretty good start. I like the way we played in the first period. We were down 1-0, but I still, our theme in the locker room between periods was stay with it. Don't get bored of doing what works. And we had an explosion there in the second period and got 3 goals that put us up 3-1. And then I really liked even how we started we had to kill the penalty. And Callum made a really big save on Iserman there to keep it at 4-1. I thought that was huge. And then Joey's goal that put us up 4-1 was good. And then we kind of managed. I would have liked us to be a little more aggressive when we were up 4-1, but when they pulled the goalie, I was really pleased with how we competed 5-on-6, and Joey got the empty netter, and that pretty much sealed it. So we're excited to be moving on, and we know it's going to be, whoever we're playing, it's going to be a real difficult game tomorrow night.
Thanks, Coach. We'll take questions for the players now. We'll start with Rich up again in the front and then go over to John.
Hi, Rich Thompson, Mass Live. Joey, on your hat trick, was that kind of really all about guys winning puck battles and making plays at the blue line and maybe spectacular finishes?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it. It started, it rimmed it around. Richie sprinted out to the defenseman and he couldn't make a play on it. So I just got lucky. It just fell on my stick and I was able to put it in an empty net, which isn't too hard. So
You missed the first one.
missed the first one.
Joey, John Doyle from USCHO. Can you describe, I believe it was your first goal tonight, put you guys up 2-1. Did you know your feet were behind the goal line? What did you see on that play?
No, I had no clue. But yeah, the goalie robbed me in the first one, to be honest, but I was just making the second effort. I didn't know where I was. Just trying to get in the net, honestly.
Bridget?
Joey, your hat trick, not the first hat trick of the season for you, but can you take us through what's going through your mind when you're seeing the hats come down at TD Garden?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely pretty cool. I mean, I've never played here. This environment it's been awesome. I think a lot of us are just trying to take it in. It's a first for many of us. I think honestly though, it felt just like another game, to be honest. And I think that's the kind of team that we have. Like, where winning has just become a habit, and it's pretty awesome. And it starts with our leadership between John Spetz and Hudson Shandor. I mean, those two are the only ones that have played in a game at the Garden. And, I think just at this point, we talked about it before the game, just playing for the guys next to you. And I think a lot of us are playing for those two because they were here before in the finals. They didn't come out on the winning side of it. And I think now it's just doing it for those two and everybody else.
Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel Connolly, UConn Hockey Hub. For Jake, you didn't have Hudson tonight, and as Joey said, you guys kind of feel like you're playing for him and John. Just what was the feeling of going out there without him and trying to keep it going so maybe he can be there tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was hoping that he'd be able to go and warm-ups and everything. I mean, he's obviously a huge part of our team on and off the ice, but I mean, we have a next man up mentality on our team. I mean, we've had injury trouble and different stuff throughout the whole entire year, and we've fought through adversity and just kind of fought through it. So I mean, it obviously sucked to see him not be able to go, but I mean, I think everyone's mind went right to let's do this for Hudson. I mean, he does so much for us, and I think this game's huge to win for him. And I think Ryan Tattle and everyone else did a great job of just kind of next man up mentality and filling in Hudson's gap and doing their job. So.
Right on you.
Charlie Demanda, WTDU Sports. Either one of you guys, how much belief do you have in the way you guys are playing? I mean, Coach Pandolfo before said you saw a lot of buy-in from you guys. Just as a group, how much confidence do you have in the way you guys are playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it just kind of builds from game to game. I mean, we talk about it in the locker room, we have undoubtedly belief throughout the entire game, throughout every game. So, I mean, just kind of being in these big game situations and learning from each and every one, I think are kind of just building that confidence game by game, and it's just only rising.
Back to Dan.
Joey, what makes Jake such a great passer, and what's it like being on the receiving end of some of those?
I mean, he's a special player. It's been awesome playing with him. I mean, you saw it on my second one. He probably held the puck for a good it felt like 5 seconds, but it was probably just a split second. But he has patience with the puck. He finds we've built this chemistry. We're working on stuff after practice. We're always talking about stuff, just the little details of the game, and I think that we're always bouncing things off each other, especially with Hudson too when he was playing. So it's just little things that we're doing, like just talking about the game, and it's just helping know where each other is going to be on the ice, and it's just our process too, right? Like we practice like offensive switches, offensive motions, and like just knowing where people are going to be on the ice, just playing as a team connected.
John?
Thank you, Jake. The breakaway goal by Tattle. Can you bring us through that play, and what did you see on that?
Yeah, I mean, that was a great save by Tonger there, and the puck kind of just squirted right to my stick, and all I heard was Tattle screaming for the puck, jetting through the ice, so I kind of just threw it to a spot, and he was able to catch it nicely there, and great finish.
Take one more for the players, let's say. Okay, guys, thank you. We can head back to the locker room. Appreciate it. Questions for Coach now. We'll start up. We'll go to Rich and then John in the front here, and then we'll go back.
Hi, Mike, Rich Thompson, Mass Live. Just comment on this program's, the inroads this program has made in the power structure of Hockey East over the past decade.
Well, we're 11 years in the league now, when we started, there wasn't really a top-notch facility, that's for sure. It wasn't up to the standards of a Hockey East facility, and there really wasn't any Division I tradition either, because there was a division. When I played against UConn, they were Division III. I think we had 2 pros in the history of the program. Never had an NCAA appearance, and now, in the last 5 years, we finished in the top 4 out of those 5 years. We're going to be playing in our second championship game. So, my goal when I came here was, I remember saying that I didn't want to build a .com. I wanted to build a blue chip company, and I don't know if we're there yet, but we're trending that way.
John?
Thank you. I'm Michael. John Powers, Boston Globe. 3 years ago, when you were in the final, you had to win that game to be able to make the NCAAs. Now you are insecure, number 2 seed. Does that take a little stress off of winning the final? All you have to do is just win a hockey game in a tournament, not just to keep playing.
That's interesting. I've thought about that a lot, because a lot of times when I was here with BC, we were in the tournament. But you still want to win that game, that championship game, anytime you're playing for a trophy. It can be a stressful situation. But I was more stressed tonight with my daughter driving from Connecticut to Boston for the first time than I was really for the game. But she made it here safely, thank God. But it's going to be a hockey game. It's going to be a great game. Whoever we play, both respectful programs, and it's going to be a battle. We know that.
In the middle.
Hi, Coach. Cole Solano from WUML Sports. Callum Tongue made his first career start earlier this year up at Lowell. Since then, how have you seen his game evolve into the player he was really tonight?
Well, I think both our goaltenders have been very strong, and I really credit Vince Stiletti, our goaltending coach. I think he's done a fabulous job with both of them. And they have that Ullmark-Swayman type relationship. There's no jealousy between the two of them. They support each other, and it's really fun to watch in practice with them talking about different goaltending techniques and, how to attack the game. And we're really fortunate that we've had 2 of them, but he's been pretty steady all year long. Both of them have, So to answer your question, he played great that night up at Lowell. He played great both nights, and he played really well at BC too. So he's been really consistent all season long.
Luca?
Luke Tedesco, the 1T and WUML Sports. Was there a bit of a hope to get under BU's skin? You kind of went after them pretty physically early on, rattled them in the early part of the second period. Was that a bit of a goal of this game, to just try to rattle them, take them out of the game mentally, not just on the scoreboard?
No, that was not. We want to play the same way against everybody. We try to. Doesn't matter who we're playing. We have a script we want to stick to and play that way. And we certainly didn't go in with the intention to try to get under BU's skin and rattle them.
Go ahead, Dan.
Some of the passes Jake had tonight, just what makes him so good at distributing the puck and finding guys on the ice?
I wish I knew I could never pass a puck like that. It's he's just a talented player, and he thinks the game so quick. I think that's his greatest skill, how fast he thinks the game, and he knows where people are. His IQ is off the charts, and obviously he's a very skilled player too. Because you can think the game quick, but unless you have the skill set to execute the play, it doesn't matter, and he's got both.
Right in the middle.
Eli Cloutier, Boston Hockey Blog. Your team really limited BU's chances at 5-on-5, even strength, kind of until the late push there in the third period. What was just working for you guys tonight defensively to shut them down?
Well, we were trying to keep them out of the middle of the ice. I know that's something that they like to do. So we were trying to protect the middle of the ice and let them have the perimeter. But I think the real reason was we were playing down their end. And it's hard to play offensive if you're in your own end. You know, I think that stretch in the second period for the first 10 minutes, I thought that was probably some of the best hockey we've played all year long.
Josh.
Josh Venusha, College Hockey News. Going back a little bit to the last championship appearance you guys had, I know it's almost a completely different team, but is there anything that you learned from that year, from that loss, that you can kind of share with the team or that you take away from it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've tried to share a lot of my experiences. I've been fortunate to play in this game. I think this will be 11 times now, maybe more. I don't even know. But so from everyone's different, and I think you can learn from all of them. And when it's appropriate or apropos for the team, I'll bring it up. I just don't bring stuff up that happened in the past if I don't think it's going to resonate with our players. So, yeah, I used, with Hudson, we knew Hudson was going to be a long shot tonight in the game, but I told the team that we came in here in 05 with a BC team that we were without Patrick Eaves, our leading scorer, without Steven Jonta, our top penalty killer, and without Peter Harold, our top defenseman, and we found a way to win the tournament. So there's always a way to win it. You just got to figure out how to do it. So it's never one person that is going to win you a game. It's got to be a collective effort as a team, and I think our guys showed that tonight.
Right in the middle.
Coach Brendan Locke, Everything College Hockey. You said after the game against Providence that this isn't somewhere that you want to be every 4 years. This is something that you want to be. This
Right.
is a stage you want to be at every year. How do you use tomorrow's stage as a recruiting tool, as just to its fullest potential?
I don't know how much I can use it as a recruiting tool. I think where it helps is the expectations for the program now become getting here. So that it becomes internal for your program. When you've never been here, you don't know what it's like. But when you've got a taste of it, especially when you have a chance to win this tournament, then your expectations are to come back and do it again. So the team almost drives itself, and that's when you get something special.
We'll go Mike and then go over to Dan, and then we'll do one more after that.
Mike McBain, College Hockey News. Coach, since Hudson went down, I think Joey's got 5 goals in 5 periods. What have you kind of seen from him? And obviously he's scored a lot of goals all year, but what has it been? Have you seen an extra jump in his step, I guess, since you lose a top guy like Hudson? Has he taken his game to a new level?
Yeah, he's another one who's been really consistent. I think Mike, it started last year at the end of the year. I thought he started becoming one of our better players. And for me, again, when I look back on players I've coached, he's got a little Cam Atkinson to him. He can score, very similar size. He's strong on his skates. He skates well. He can beat you clean with a shot, but he can also, he goes to the net. He goes to the hard areas. You saw that 4th goal. He's jamming that puck in, and he just missed one at the end of the second. Tattle found him with an open net, and he missed that one. But he competes. He goes to the net, and he's a 200-foot player. He doesn't cheat the game, which to me is the most important quality he has.
if Hudson was a long shot today, does that mean he's going to be a long shot tomorrow? And then just who did you see step up in his place on the bench as a leader?
Well, I think we'll take tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen there tomorrow with Hudson. I know he's going to get treatment tonight and see where it goes. I thought the team, like there was a lot of guys that stepped up. The guy that doesn't get enough credit on our team is Houston Cartman. He might get 2 or 3 shifts a game, but he holds the entire team accountable on the bench. And I've always said, when a coach scolds you, or for the lack of a better word, it never means as much as when a peer does. I know when I was a player, if a peer said to me, you gotta step it up, you gotta get going, that meant, that was more personal than a coach doing it. So of course, as a coach, that's our job to teach and coach and educate. But he has the respect of the team where he can challenge guys on the bench, and I think it means a lot more coming from him sometimes than it does from me.
One more for Coach, it's there. Andrew, up front.
I can hear you.
Now I gotta hear your voice on the audio.
All right. Thank you. Andrew Mahoney, Boston Globe. It looked like Callum was laboring in the third period. Was there any consideration to making a move, and what's his status?
It wasn't injury, it was just cramps. That's all it was. So, yeah, there was concern because I think if that went any longer, they would have forced me to take a timeout or put Tyler in, and I would have put Tyler in at that point in the game because I wouldn't want to burn a timeout for that. So, luckily, he got some water and whatever they have, pickle juice or whatever they take. I don't know. But, he got some salt in his system, and he was able to finish the game.